Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. You can follow me on Spotify. All you have to do is just type in Mark Parham podcast. I want to talk about two people, Lizzo and Hunter Biden. First, I'm going to start with Hunter Biden. I've seen the media coverage, and I pay attention to news and the internet and just a lot of things. And Hunter Biden, as far as the mainstream media, they never talk about him. Like they'll talk about him on Fox News. You expect that, but the MSNBC and the CNNs and ABC News and some of those outlets never talk about Hunter Biden. I mean, he's gotten into problems with the law. He's gotten into problems with, other women. He's done, drugs. There's photos of him doing drugs, and they never bring that up. Now, if that were one of the Trump children or one of the people in the Trump family, they would be talking about this 24/7. Just think about it. You have, Donald Trump Jr. I remember during the election when people were, bringing up different things and that he was a hunter and he was this bad person and all this stuff. But, you fast forward to 2023 right now, and they never talk about Hunter Biden. I think I was looking at some story where they said the media mentions Donald Trump, I forget how many times, and then Hunter Biden almost like 0 times. And I think that's crazy, especially, how a lot of these mainstream media people always tell Republicans, oh, we're fair, we're balanced. And, we report hot topics and, we always listen to both sides of an issue and all this other stuff, but they don't. I mean, Hunter Biden, I think they showed him coming out of court in Delaware. That wasn't even talked about. Now, if that were Donald Trump Jr., or if that were Don Jr., that would be all over the place. They would have that on CNBC, BBC. They would have it all over the, just everywhere, on everybody's television. So it just shows you the double standards. One of the people that is actually, spoken out on Hunter Biden, I think her name's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She had some hearing where she actually, asked some tough questions. She was trying to get down to the bottom of, some of the things he was hiding. But, besides her and a few other Republicans, nobody's talking about this guy. I mean, this guy gets in trouble. If he were anybody else, he would be probably in prison right now. He's all over the place. I don't know what he does. They claim that he as I think working at some oil company or something like that. But what does he know about the oil or energy business? Just shady stuff like that. Nobody could get away with what he's getting away with, especially if they were Republican. So it just goes to show you the double standard in the media and how they're trying to protect him. So, people continue to vote for Joe Biden. This has been an election where the Biden administration has covered up so much stuff. It's almost like that saying where, it's raining and somebody tells you that water isn't wet. It's almost like that. I mean, Joe Biden is gone to the extreme. You even look at what he's doing to Donald Trump. If Donald Trump wasn't in the lead, on the Republican side, Biden wouldn't even be doing all this. They've gone to social media companies. They've told social media companies not to report certain stories. I mean, Twitter before, Elon Musk got to it. Basically, the people that worked at Twitter were helping the Biden administration. There's folks who had their Twitter accounts at the time. I think it's called X, but I just call it Twitter. I'm used to calling it Twitter, but people on social media have had their accounts taken down. They've had, they've been, shadow banned and stuff like that because they were, talking about certain things that the Biden administration didn't want them to talk about. It's almost like something you would hear about from like a North Korea. Who would have ever thought that, in America, we would suppress people's speech? So if I say, oh, well, I think this about the Biden administration, like I can lose my social media account that I've had for, let's say, 10 years. That's where we're at right now. And I'm really proud of the podcasters that are coming out and inviting people on like RFK Jr. and Vivek and some of the people that believe in free speech. Because without some of these podcasts and on the internet, or just without the internet in general, none of you wouldn't know what's going on. The media, the media news channels were much better back in the 80s and even I'd say the 90s. I mean, we're to a point now where you have people in the news media covering for Biden and his family. I think one person on a show said, "Oh well, Biden doesn't talk about it because it's," or something like that, because it's Biden has love for his son and all this other stuff. It's just like the Trump kids haven't even done half the stuff Hunter Biden has done. They don't even get this protection. So it's it just goes to show you that there's this bias in the media. There's news channels that act like the Hunter Biden story never happened, and the more and more they try to cover for this guy, it just exposes the mainstream media. You learn more from going on news YouTube channels than you do from media organizations that are worth billions or hundreds of millions of dollars. And I see why what is it, Vice News and some of these companies are having to lay people off or go into bankruptcy because they're not reporting any news. News right now is to the point where when I turn to a certain station, I can predict what people are going to say before they say it. And that's not how I grew up. When I was watching the news, at least they would have maybe both sides come on and one person would debate the other person. But some of these Democrats don't even want to debate. They just want to get their side out, what they have to say out there, and they don't want people to have a response. And that's something that you would see from like a North Korea. And I never thought that the Democrats would get to that point. Again, even if you look at what was the RFK Jr. hearing, they talked about this man like a dog, some of these Democrats, and then when he comes out to defend himself, it's just like, oh, well, we don't want to hear what you have to say. There was another, I think it was some hearing they had on, I think it was transgender issues or something like that. And one lady wanted to play a tape explaining what she had to talk about. I think she was a Republican or something like that. She wanted to just play a video that goes into detail about, some of what's happening in the transgender community. And some of the Democrats, if I'm not mistaken, they walked out of the hearing. Like, are we to a point where somebody can't, explain their point of view? Like, you can talk about what you want to talk about, but as soon as somebody has a rebuttal, it's like, oh, we don't want to hear it. It's childish, and I think it's got to stop. In America, we have something called free speech, and everybody should exercise, their right to say what they want to say, whether people like it or not. I mean, there's things that I don't like, but I still feel that people have the right to say them if they want to. And, we've just gotten to, and I made another podcast about this before, but we've gotten into the twilight zone where what's up is down and what's down is up. And I think eventually Americans are going to get sick of a lot of this stuff, and you're going to see, I would say, America become more conservative. It has to, because if we keep on going down this path, I mean, we're going to be a third world country. If you look at what's going on now, if you don't want to fund police, people think all police are bad. People think, I mean, and now you can't even, send your sons and daughters to school because they're almost being indoctrinated to believe a certain thing. College professors can't teach what they want to teach without, being worried about being fired and stuff like that. So we're really to that point now. It's all the stuff where when I would turn on the news and look at other countries, I would say, well, America will never get like that. That's happening right here. And I would tell anybody, if you have an internet connection, if you have an internet connection and you have maybe a YouTube channel or a Rumble account or something like that, like, speak out. Every voice matters, even if you're not somebody who's influential or powerful or has a lot of money. Like, you have a voice. People have to speak out because things are getting critical out here. I mean, we're to a point where if somebody goes on a college campus and wants to talk about Christianity, somebody's willing to, silence them and, cancel their event. But then a person come on there talking about, men are women and women are men, and that person gets applause and cheered, and that's the person they want to invite back. And so we're just in this weird time in America. I think things will get back to, some sort of what do they say, normalcy. If that, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And maybe hopefully in the next 4 years or 2 years or something, because this is like, it's to a point where even people who are progressive are saying this is crazy. Like, to have people coming on TV and giving awards to, I call them fake women, like men who are dressing up as women and getting awards and being able to participate in beauty contests that aren't even women. Somebody that can grow a beard like I can. And so it's important for everybody to speak out, men, women, young college students, everybody. Create a podcast, create a video on YouTube, sit up and create a Twitter account, do something. Because we're really in what do they say, we're really just in a crazy world right now. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about was, Fox News. I don't know what's up with Fox News. I mean, I know maybe they're trying to turn into the next CNN or something, and I know this is an old story, but I think it was, the more you think about it, like, why would you get rid of someone like Tucker Carlson, someone that can bring in ratings and somebody that young people listen to and young people watch? I still don't understand why Fox News would do something like that. But again, there's certain people behind the scenes that don't want to have people on that are going to put out real news. And I tell anybody, you get better news from independent journalists than watching, mainstream cable networks that actually used to report news, but they don't report news anymore. And it's really a sad times that we're in right now. I hope it gets better. I hope that Joe Biden isn't reelected, but if he is, the American people have to just wake up and start speaking out, to do something, because if this is the future that we're going to leave, the next generation, the next generation is going to be in bad shape. So again, like I always say, I know I ramble, but please follow me on Spotify. Just all you have to do is type in Mark Parham Podcast on Spotify. You can follow me on YouTube. On YouTube, I think you can just type in YouTube Mark Parham. My name will probably pop up. And again, enjoy your afternoon. Thank you.